So the stimulus package is a really hot topic right now on the internet, and no matter where you look, it seems like you can't avoid the scenario that's at hand. Part of that is because there's really nothing else you can really do except for watch the news at this point in time with everybody cooped up inside their houses. But in today's video, I'm going to be covering 5 things I really think you should know about the stimulus package, 5 things that everybody out there should know. So if you want to learn more about it, you don't really know what it is, and you just want some more insight into the stimulus package, this is a really great video for you to watch. So make sure you stick around to the very end to get all of the information. And without further ado, let's jump into the video. So I think the first thing important to note is that we have seen stimulus packages implemented in the economy before. Here in America, we had one back in 2008, and that was to help fight against the current times in the economy because we were headed towards a recession, we were spiraling down, and that one was $700 billion. But here in 2020, we have a much bigger stimulus package, and that is coming in right around the $2 trillion price point. So this is a much greater one, about $1.3 trillion greater, and it is the biggest in history. So I'm just going to try and break it down the best I can for you guys with these 5 different categories. The first and most important thing, because it probably relates to most people that are watching this video and what everybody kind of clicks on these for, is that initial cash value that you're going to be getting. So this is what I like to call the cash assistance that's going to be provided. And how the cash assistance works is that everybody out there is going to be granted $1,200. You're going to be granted $1,200 if you're over the age of 18, you're an adult, and you have made less than $75,000 per year in your job. So they're going to look at your tax returns from 2019 and 2018 as well. And if you make more than $75,000, you will get deductions all the way down to $99,000. So if you do make over $99,000, you're going to get nothing, no help. But honestly, you probably don't need as much help as somebody else as long as you're being smart about how you're spending your money and you're not living paycheck to paycheck. You should be in a pretty good spot. If you are a married couple, you're going to be getting $2,400, and then for each child that you have, you'll get an additional $500. And the same sort of thing applies. So if your combined income is less than $150,000, you're in the clear, you'll be receiving the benefits, but then you'll get deductions all the way up to $198,000 where you'll stop receiving those benefits. So cash assistance is going to be really awesome. I think the way that they're looking to get it to these people is looking at their tax returns, seeing how they filed their taxes. So if you actually e-filed in 2019 and 2018, they'll know exactly where to deposit. They can do a direct deposit to the account. But if you didn't e-file and you sent in your tax information, they're going to have to try and track you down and figure out where the payments need to actually be made. The next thing I want to talk about here on the list is beefed up unemployment. And I was recently sent an unemployment image that one of my friends was showing a comparison of prior unemployment years to this year. And obviously you guys can see the jump right here. This is just a jaw-dropping statistic. It's really incredible to, see what is going on right now. It is a huge jump, and they're trying to do everything they can to ensure that these people can feel safe, they feel secure, and they can continue to provide for their families and themselves in this time of economic uncertainty. The way that they're trying to make it easier for these people is providing them with an extra $600 for up to 4 months per month. So they're going to be getting an extra $600 in employment benefits for the next 4 months. And that is a pretty good decision of them to make to help those people out, in my own opinion. I think that is something that is completely necessary, especially looking at the statistics and seeing where we're headed right now. On top of that, state unemployment benefits will now make up 100% of the pay that they would have lost during that time. So that is really solid too, really great things you want to see. And that's really just going to help out everybody who's getting laid off, all the unemployment. And hopefully, when this is all said and done, these jobs can start to open back up and they'll be able to pick up where they left off. Now, the third thing, very important to mention, one of the bigger aspects of where this funding is all going, there will be $500 billion going straight to corporate funding, and that is direct as loans to specific industries. Now, those industries include but aren't limited to industries such as like airlines, there's hotels, and it also goes to state and cities, local cities that you have that are struggling as well. So this funding is going to be put to good use, and it's going to be heavily monitored to make sure that it goes and is being used properly. They don't want the corporations to use the means of this funding to buy back their own stock, to drive their prices up and be able to enhance their investors. What they want to do is make it useful for this emergency situation situation and make sure they have their baseline covered. Also, it's going to help aid some of those employees and everything in that aspect. So as a direct result from this, we're going to be seeing around $50 billion going directly into airlines. We're going to see $8 billion going to cargo air carriers. And then also on top of that, we're looking at $17 billion going towards other essential companies that help with national security there. There's going to be funding for small businesses as well. I think this is really important and where more of the money should be going, but that's going to equate to around $367 billion. And the way that it works out is actually a lot of these companies, as long as they stay within the guidelines of the loans, they're not actually going to have to pay them back. So it's essentially giving them, free money that they're able to hopefully help out their employees that they have. These are for companies that are under, I believe, 500 employees. So it's not those massive warheads that are just, overcoming with the economy and can take advantage of any types of money that comes in their way. All of this money is going to be completely essential to these businesses, keep them operating, keep them running. And for those that are laying off people, hopefully it gives them enough money to tie themselves over for the time being. And then when they can open back up, they'll be able to bring back those employees. Now, airlines was a really hot topic for this whole stimulus package because one thing that was proposed was actually giving them small interest loans. But the reason why they didn't go forth with that and they ended up just essentially bailing them out is because it wasn't going to act quick enough to prevent a lot of these airline companies from going bankrupt. So they needed to do something quick, and they decided that it was best to give them this money to help aid them for the time being. Another very important aspect of the stimulus package, and it's going to be my fourth key thing that you should know, is that $100 billion will be going to healthcare and hospitals, first responders, those helping aid the disease right now, aid everything that's going on, and those ones that really need the funding in order to help us, the people, the citizens, anybody who is affected by what's going on right now, this pandemic. For my own opinion, just some random guy on the internet who really wants to speak his mind and just get his own 2 cents out there is I think that, looking at the funding situation here, looking where this money is going, $500 billion to these huge corporations is great, but honestly, a lot of these corporations and businesses don't really need the help as much as some of these other businesses, and we've seen in the past them take advantage of this type of money. So I wish that we were seeing more of this money actually going back to the individuals, not only people like you and me in more aid, because I don't think $1,200 is really going to go that far in the long run. Maybe that's going to get you through a month, but I think it's really important to heavily fund these smaller businesses, the local businesses that are really struggling because they have no option. They have to be shut down right now and they're losing out. And you can see it around, your local community, all the businesses that are shut down, and a lot of messages are out there trying to help support those local businesses. And I know that as soon as all this is over and those start opening back up, I'd love to be able to help them out in any possible way that I can. But if it were up to me, I'd put more funding towards the smaller businesses. I'd put more funding right to the individuals themselves, as well as the healthcare, the people that are going to help with the current situation and keep everybody safe. Because I think the citizens, the people like you and me are probably most important in this aspect and keeping the economy afloat and together. Now, the fifth and final thing that I think you all should know about the stimulus package is that student loans are going to be deferred for a period of time. So that is going to be 6 months where you don't actually have to make payments. It's going to be delayed until September 30th. So you have 6 months from around today. It's the 27th when I'm recording this, so a little bit longer than that, obviously. But nonetheless, this does help out so much for those students who are just graduating and they're coming to this economy right now looking to get jobs when really every business is pretty much shutting down for the time being. One interesting policy that was promoted during this was that a lot of the Democrats thought that, around $10,000 should have been paid for everybody's student loans out there during this period of time until everything settles down. And it was pretty interesting. I actually kind of liked that idea when I was following along and just, I try to remain neutral on my political views on this channel, but I thought that was an interesting policy because, instead of just pushing out these payments that they're still going to have to make, it was actually taking a chunk of the money and going straight towards the student loans that these people have to pay. In my own mind right now, student loans are outrageous. The amount of payments that people have to make, the size of the payments is just, something that I think is hurting the economy more than it probably is helping it. And obviously that's my own opinion, and you can differ your ways of thinking about that. But I know that anybody graduating now and looking at the amount of money that they have to pay in student loans, they're probably all second guessing their education, why they went through with it. And I know that it still provides a higher paying job in the long run, but I think some of that is starting to shift, and people are realizing you don't necessarily need these degrees in order to make a lot of money doing things that you really enjoy doing. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at stuff like this. And those are my own 2 cents. Obviously, I don't really have much say in the whole opinion. I just wanted to share my beliefs, share where I'm standing right now. But let me know, what do you guys think about this stimulus package? Do you think it's going to last a while? Do you think it's going to help? I know we've seen a few pretty good days on the stock market, just indicating that this policy is doing some positive things, but today the stock market dropped again, and I think it's just going to be like that for a long period of time until everything with the virus starts to settle down, until they can get that contained. But yep, just like I said, guys, let me know down in the comment section below. Be really interested to hear your thoughts behind it. And thank you so much for checking out this video. If you guys haven't done so already, please smash that like button. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys are looking for a channel that talks about personal finance, talks about investing, this is definitely the channel for you. I post a ton of different content you're definitely not going to want to miss. Make sure you smash the subscribe button as well, turn on the bell notification, and everybody stay safe, stay healthy, have a great day.